Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball video for you this evening. Now, if you've been watching, and I know you have, we've been working on this 1963 Williams Jumpin' Jacks. There was not a G at the end. Jumpin' Jacks! There's two apostrophes, too. So I guess one of these characters mustn't be named Jumpin' Jack, because this is Jumpin' Jacks! But we've been working on this thing. It's a 1963, so it's a little bit earlier than what you usually see still around. But we've been able to get it up and running and looking pretty good, and figured we would film one final video of us actually playing it. So let's check it out. Now, it's been repainted. When we bought it, it had been painted solid white. And that had been done many years ago, so it was in pretty rough shape paint-wise, but the actual game itself was actually in solid, decent shape. It's just the paint was a little banged up. They had repainted it, hadn't done too great of a job, and it was kind of dingy and dirty and everything, so we repainted it, the top white, painted the bottom of blue that we just had in the back. But the original paint, it has like a very simple little stenciled design. There's like a green line with like some green arrows on it or something like that. Doesn't really have any significance to the game, and while we could have repainted it, it would have took a ton of time, and we'll leave that for someone else down the road. But what we are good at doing is getting the thing running, so we did get it up and working again. I bought this from a gentleman in Charlotte who had owned it for quite a while. I believe he said he brought it down from up north somewhere, but I don't remember specifically. We've had this about, hell, probably 3 years. I bought it and I put it in storage about 3 years ago, and I brought it back out and finally fixed it. We've got a ton of games in storage, by the way, but most of them are older games like this, so there's nothing in there. We don't have any Addams families in storage or anything like that everybody's so hot and heavy over. But we do have some old EMs. What we do is if we see a good deal on one, we buy it, and that doesn't necessarily mean we'll fix it immediately, though. But we're working through some of our back stock, and this was the next one. Personally, I love this era of pinball machines. I love these ones that are a little bit too old, you know. Most people, if you ask them, you know, which EMs they like, you know, they're all going to say the mid-'70s and late '70s ones. And I won't even argue that those are better and those are more fun. But these just have a style to them. This is 1963. Things were a little different then. This is pre-Beatles, people. So the art's a little different. Just the way things work is a little different on the game. The theme's a little different. So it's kind of stuck in time a little bit. But it's just cool enough that maybe it's still got a place in 2020. What do you think? So like usual, on most back glasses, whoever the artist was did a hell of a job, really. You might not like the layout of it. Really, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing really all that interesting about the layout, but as usual, all the line art is just awesome. Like, look at this girl. Look how he drew this woman. I mean, that's excellent, you know. Now, she's dressed up as a bunny. So I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of, they're trying to play off Playboy or something. 63, was Playboy even out then? I think it was. But then there's also guys dressed up as bunnies. Right? I don't know. I guess they're on some kind of, it's a circus thing, and they've got some kind of trampoline they're on or something. I don't know. I can't figure it out, but maybe you weren't supposed to. So here's a guy over here, too. This back glass is still in pretty good shape. And it's got all of these weird-looking little dudes with these, they look like they have funny voices to me. Like, oh, yeah, I'm falling down. You know, something like that's going on. It's got a real stylized, where the name is, kind of made to look like some of the old, those weren't neon lights back then, but you know, you saw some of that kind of stuff in Vegas and stuff, I guess. bad. Try again. And so the whole thing appears to be at some kind of, I guess that's not a trampoline, that's just the spotlight. At some kind of circus or something. So there's a woman up here and a guy saying, gee, a double flip. So I guess she's flipping around on top of a horse. See, back in the day, kiddies, there were these things called circuses. They don't really exist anymore. But it's some kind of circus thing. The guy has the whip in his hand, you know. Right? And so you have these dancing rabbits. Maybe it's Jumpin' Jack's circus. I don't know. But this was the era where they had 3 score reels. There was no dummy reel. All 3 of these will score, but there was a 1 over here that can light up if you get over 1,000 points. But yeah, the backglass to me looks great. Really cool look to it. Okay, and so then it continues down on the playfield. And it's dominated by these 2 girls, which I guess maybe it's the same girl. If they're not, they could be twins. But so it's more great line art. And so she's jumping down. This guy, look what's going on here. Okay? Now, keep in mind, there's instructions to how to play it, but there's nothing describing or explaining what any of this is. You just got to figure it out yourself. And it could be that in 1963 it was a little more obvious. You know, the world's changed a lot since then. But look what's going on here. So you got this girl, she's dressed up like a bunny. Well, to me, I think chick dressed up like a bunny, Playboy magazine, right? That's what I think, right? I don't know if that's necessarily what you thought in 63, but I would assume. Okay, so this is either a different girl or the same girl. Also dressed up as a bunny. But look what's going on the slingshots. This guy is dressed up like a devil. And he's sitting there and he's checking out the show, right? But this guy has his eyes covered and a halo over his head. So what in the world does that mean? So maybe he's a good guy and he ain't looking. And this guy is the devil and he's enjoying the show. Now, what else could that possibly mean? Maybe I'm looking a little bit into it, but look what's going on. I mean, there's a devil and a guy with a halo over his head. Explain it to me down below, people. And so you got these 2 guys up here and they're going, now you're flipping. Right? And you have these 2 really cool little characters on the drop targets. So it's this little dude. You know, you can't really tell. He doesn't really match any of the other people. I don't know. But you can knock those drop targets down and then there are holes behind it. I believe Gottlieb called those gobble holes, but I don't know what they were called on Williams. But if you knock the ball down in there, the ball disappears. That ends your ball, but you scored whatever points that you score on this hole score here. So you have 2 more guys up here in their rabbit costumes, their bunny costumes. This guy here looks like he's not having as much fun as the rest of them. He's like, it's been a tough night. Boy, I'll be happy to get out of here. Go get me a nice cold one. This guy looks like he's always happy. Okay, so up here at the top, you got a couple more guys. So this guy's waving. Looks kind of elfish. And this guy, I guess, is waving. Has a similar look. I don't know, people. Like, who the hell thought this up? Like, why would they, what were they trying to say here? I can't quite get it. I've been looking at it all week. I can't quite get it. But it's got a hell of a look, really, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn off the lights so you can see how it looks in the dark, because it's different in the dark, you know. So that somebody was mentioning that on one of the other videos. Okay, this is what it looked like at the skating rink or whatever. You know, this is what it looked like at a place that would have the lights on, right? And this is what it looked like in a bar. It's kind of got a little bit different vibe with the lights off. They're all like that, all of them. Like when you turn the lights off in a darkened room, they don't really look the same. And you get all this other stuff that you don't really pick up when the lights are on. Look at that damn backglass. Look at that. Man, that's cool. Looks great. Okay, so we'll read over the instructions, because you know they're always more fun if you actually read how you're supposed to play them. Right? So it says, Jumpin' jacks for amusement only. So it says that so that you won't bet on it. They knew that all of us lowlifes were betting on these games. So they knew it was a gambling thing. They knew that if I won a free game with my 10 cents, that I might sell it to the guy behind me for 5 cents. 1 or 2 players. Insert 1 coin and wait for machine to reset before inserting coin for second player. Press button to use all credits before inserting coin. Okay. Each player shoots 1 ball at a time, as indicated on backglass. So first player, second player, whatever. A tilt by 1 player disqualifies only that player. Well, ain't that a good thing? That's what's called the okay, have you ever heard that phrase, the exception that proves the rule? So a lot of people think, like, if I say, none of the Williams games were about women dressed up like bunny rabbits, and then you say, well, there was one, and then I say, well, that's the exception that proves the rule. People think that's what that means, but that's not really what they're saying. The exception that proves the rule means that if a parking sign says no parking from 8 to 5, that means that there is parking from 5 to 8, right? That's the exception that proves the rule. They accept that on the, or they leave that off of the sign, which means that you can do it, right? No parking from 8 to 5 means you can park from 5 to 8, right? Or they wouldn't have mentioned it like that. It would have just said no parking. So what does this say again? A tilt by 1 player disqualifies only that player. So there were machines, or they wouldn't have mentioned it like that. There were machines apparently before this where if one jack off tilted the machine, everybody lost their money. Hey, wouldn't that suck? Okay. 1 replay for each score of 900. Oh, so my whole point is that's the exception that proves the rule, right? They wouldn't have said it like that unless there was some question to who all would get disqualified. 1 replay for each score of 900 points, 2 replays for each score of 1,100 points, 3 replays for each score of 1,300 points, 4 replays for each score of 1,500 points. So I kind of wondered how in the world they do that. Like, how do they give you 4 replays when you get to 1,500 points? And then I played it. They don't give you 4 replays. What they do is they give you a replay when you get to 900 points. And then when you get to 1,100 points, they give you a second one. And when you get to 1,300, they give you a third one. And when you get to 1,500, by that time, you've got 4 replays. And then look at this. I haven't pulled this off yet. 1 replay for either player. 5 replays for both. Matching last number in point scores to lighted number that appears on backglass when game is over. I've never seen that before. I guess Williams was doing that for a while. There was also a card that I saw online that said 10. So I don't know how you even... There must be a jack in the back I can change that with, but you'd think I would have seen it when I was in there cleaning things. Okay, so at the end of the game, you get the match number. So this one, it's number 2. So if my score would have ended in a 2, when I got that 2, I would have won a free game. But it's saying if both people have a 2 and it lights up 2, that we get 5 games. Now, how the hell did they do that? Now remember, they're doing all this. There's no CPU. They're doing all this with switches. How did they do that? How did they make it? I could see how they make it where if that's on 2 and that's on 2, you get a free game. They just add a credit over on the credit wheel. Okay? Or if that's on 2 and that's on 2, you get a free game. But somehow they've got it where if that's on 2, that's on 2, and that's on 2, you get 5 free games. Think about that. Some guy thought that up, or a woman. It was probably a guy, though, back then. Some dude or some woman thought that up, right? And said, hey, I got an idea. And then they went to somebody in charge. And the person in charge said, yeah, that sounds like something we'll spend money and time on. And they figured it out. Just pretty incredible. So the machine takes dimes and quarters. And this is one of the old ones before the trough was different back then. So the ball doesn't stay right here on top of the playfield like it does in most games and roll out to here. It's way down deep in the game, and so to get the ball from the trough down in the bottom to the top, you have this ball elevator. So at the beginning of each ball, you have to push that, which pushes a little lever and pushes the ball up to the shooter lane. If you haven't played a really old one, you probably haven't seen that. And I usually have these on 3 balls, but I left this one on 5 balls because that's how it was set, and it's older. So because it's older, I figured, hey, let's leave it on 5 balls. But no matter how old something is, or how much people complain, I am not playing the thing with the lights on. So y'all are just going to have to deal with it. I'm turning the lights off, and we're going to play it the way God intended them to be played. With the lights off and the glass on. Okay, folks, so we'll play through it a little bit and see if this thing's got what it takes. Oh, I rebuilt the flippers while y'all weren't looking. I put a new coil on this one. New sleeves, new coil stops. It's all under here. You can't see it. Okay, so what's the goal of the game? To get points. Yeah, to get points. Okay, so the whole score, you only score if you land in the hole. And the only way to advance this up is by rolling through that top rollover. There's a thing, I just figured out something. We were looking on the one video. It says target 10 points and advance, or 50 points when lit. I just realized what was going on there. If it gets all the way to the top, that's when the 50 points when lit lights up, because you can't advance anymore. So they're not giving you 10 points and advance anymore because they can't. You're up to 300. So what turns those on is when you're at 300. That makes complete sense. Should have figured that out earlier. All right. Oh, and when we were messing with it on the other video, I didn't have the glass on and I didn't have the back door on, so the bells will probably be quieter now. Well, there went that ball. I got a measly 100 points for it. So I'm trying to get 900 points for a replay. I'm at 148. Oh, come on now. It's only got 50 points for that one. You know, if 5 balls, I'm trying to get 900 points. I need to be getting what, 120 points per ball. I'm only at 203. I should be at 240. I'm underperforming here, people. Hit that one bumper one. There we go. Give me them points. Oh no. All right. So now I'm at 262. I should be at I did the math wrong. Damn it, I did the math wrong again. That should be 180 points is what I should be getting per ball. What the hell? I'm nowhere near it. I'm gonna stay away from them gobble holes. No more gobble hole. Oh no! All right, we're only at 334. 5th ball. We're just getting started though, folks. I'll probably be better when I'm older. Yeah! Yeah! Give me them points. Oh no! Oh, come on. I only got 647, but it was getting good there for a minute. It's starting to get a little snappy. All right, let's play it again. Oh, and I haven't given my disclaimer yet. I'm not all that great at pinball, people. I'm not here trying to show you how to be awesome at pinball. And also, mainly what I'm doing is I'm test playing it because we just finished it up and I'm trying to get it ready to make sure that it's good for a customer. So we're just having fun, people. Very low key. Ah. 26 points. That's downright anemic. Oh. All right, so the camera turned itself off. It keeps doing this little error thing. But anyway, that's the end of ball 2. I got 299 points, but I should be getting 180 per ball if I want to win a free game. So I should have 360, but I only got 299. So ball 3. Whoa, whoa. All right, I'm at 370. That's not good. That's not good. I'm 170 points behind, people. Ball 4. I got to get better at that shot right there. Because I almost always lose it through the gobble hole. So I need to make sure that I get more of the advance at the top. Woo! All right, last ball and I'm at 513. Doesn't seem possible. Oh! All right, so I got 623. Let's play it again. we figured out on one of the videos, I can't remember which one it was, but we figured out on one of the videos, they all run together, people, that the drop targets will never reset unless they're both down. That's the only way they can reset. So if, like, the game when it started, one of them was already down, but that's how it's designed. They don't reset at the beginning of the game. Oh, I won't even tell you the score. It's so embarrassing. Oh, the kicker made that one. Thing plays pretty smooth, really. All right, last ball. And then we're going to talk about the flippers. All right, I got 369. We're going to play again here in a minute, though. So the flippers, you might be thinking, oh, the flippers are too weak. They're not too weak. They're perfect. They've been rebuilt. Everything's cool. There are no shots for the flippers that it can't make. So both of them will knock the ball back up to the top of the playfield just fine. The only shot you can possibly make with the flipper is up to about the left of that pop bumper. So if you could get the ball up to there, you're making all the shots. That's all that there's no use for them to be any stronger than that, right? You can easily make the hole shots and drop the drop targets. So they're little 2-inch flippers, and people say, oh, they're not strong enough. Well, it's not a flaw of the game. It's an old game. This is literally just a few years after they started putting flippers on them. You know, so it's just how the things were designed. You played it a little differently back then. Newer, more modern machines, they have really fast, strong flippers because you're trying to do things, way back at the back of the playfield and hit 5 drop targets on your way and go up a ramp and all this stuff, which is cool. I love that stuff, but these are nothing like that. So you're not going to have a flipper that's, wham, back to the top of the playfield because it doesn't need that, and they hadn't invented that yet. So people talk like, oh, I'm going to put stronger coils on it and all that. You're just chasing your tail on most of these. Now, some of them, we had one a few weeks ago that was they were a little weak because there was a very target that it didn't hit quite as good as it should have. But on the ones like this, these little flippers, they're perfectly strong. They knock the ball right back where it needs to go. Everything's cool. It's just you might not like that style of gameplay, which is completely cool, And those top 2 bumpers are dead bumpers. They don't have a pop in them. All right, we got 87, ball 2. Oh! All right, 162. Now here's ball 3. Oh. All right, 347. This is ball 4. Hmm. 372, ball 5. I've built it up to 250. That's pretty good. There's the magic 300. So, damn, I'd have to get the... Oh, there ain't no way. I was going to say, I'd have to get the 600 to even be able to go out the 300 hole and get a free game. All right, we're going to play one more game. I ended up with 485. Whoop. $123 on ball one. That's underperforming. $227 by ball three, or this is ball three. Oh, I missed it. Oh, come on, come on. 314 by ball four. This is ball four. Oh, come on. 418 by ball five. I don't know, folks. All right, folks, so we got 677. Check that out. Not bad. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed bringing her back to life. Pretty fun little game. But it is old school, so if you don't like the old ones, you're not going to like this one either. It is old. But I like it. I like the sound of it. I like the look of it. And I think it's a fun little game to play. I'd like to see somebody play it that's better than me, though. That'd be cool. See somebody like really put it through with motions. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about this thing. Give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film all this for you. We didn't have to, people. We could have just done it, made the money and sold it, and never even informed you people. But we're trying to document some of this stuff. Now, why are we doing that? Is it to sell you this game? We've already had people tell us they're interested in buying this game, so I don't think it'll be around by the time you see this video. So that's not why we do this. We do this because one of these days there will be no jumping jacks around for people to fix up. There might be some working in a couple places, but there won't be any that some guy in South Carolina is taking apart and showing you all the parts and how this works and hey, let's repaint part of the playfield and all that crap. You know, they'll all either be fixed or destroyed. But maybe this video will live on in digital form if the U.S. government doesn't, you know, take over all of YouTube's copyrighted videos or something. Or I guess I still have the copyright. Yeah, I retain my copyright. So if the U.S. government doesn't take over my copyrights, maybe these videos will make it out into the public 100 years from now when all these things have turned into sawdust. And people will remember what once was, right? So we're just trying to document them. Look, hey, look, this cool game that was around back in the day. And the thing is already 57 years old. That's a lot of years. But as you can see, they built it pretty damn good. The thing is still working. Now, it broke, but I did not spend a ton of money on this thing. I did not find parts that were, you know, cheaply made and had fallen apart. No, the thing is built pretty freaking solid to the point where 57 years later, you can work on it a little bit and it helps you right along. You saw how in the video when we were fixing it, it was like the thing wanted to work, right? The only major problem we found with it was we couldn't get the game to start, but that was just because I'd been in there tinkering with the relay bank. Once we reset the relay bank, everything was cool. Very well built, just like most of these older EMs were. And as you saw, the Playfield held up pretty good. There was wear down at the bottom, but that was where people had let the flippers drag on the Playfield for so long. So once we fixed that, everything was cool. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about it. There is a link to Amazon down below. If you click our Amazon link, you don't have to sign up for anything or do anything special. You just click that link whenever you go to Amazon. And what it does is it puts our name in your URL of every page that you go to on Amazon. So if you buy anything on Amazon, it associates it with our account. And we get a little royalty from it because obviously we sent you there, right? So go over to Amazon and buy what you were already going to buy. Don't buy anything special on our accord. We did have a gentleman send us, we keep having people send us stuff. So the latest was a gentleman sent us a chip extraction tool, so I was using a flathead screwdriver to take out chips on the Pac-Man board. And I was telling the guy, Trevor, our buddy, that was the best way to take out IC chips. Is that one of the things people, IC chips? Yeah, I think one guy gave me some crap about saying that, but he was wrong. So I'm using a screwdriver to take out IC chips, and I was telling Trevor that that's the best way to do it. And so a gentleman sent me a tool, an extractor, that looks suspiciously like a bent screwdriver. But it is cool, and I am going to use it. So thank you, whoever did that. But you don't have to send us stuff, people. But we appreciate the people that have been using our Amazon link, and that's pretty cool. So we also have a link down below to my brother's channel. My brother, Donnie, is the craziest of the three of us. There's me, Ronnie, my brother Joey, and my brother Donnie. And Donnie is the wildest of us all. He's always, he works hard, man. He does stuff every day. He's filming videos of just the things that he runs into as random things in life. So it's usually working on small engines, doing stuff on the farm. He roped me into working on an old tore up mobile home that he bought. We went in halvesies, and then the thing was completely destroyed. And so we had to rebuild everything in a mobile home. But you know what? With Donnie there helping, it got done pretty damn quick. And we got a whole bunch of videos out of it, so that's pretty interesting if you're interested in stuff like that. His channel has nothing to do with arcade games and pinball machines, but you can go check it out if you're interested. It's pretty funny, actually. He's kind of an entertaining person. So I'll see you over there. Make sure you leave your comments below about what you think about this Jumpin' Jacks. And we'll go ahead and slap this one on the butt and call it done. This is Williams' 1963 Jumpin' Jacks.